came here because you're losing. Maybe not every trade, maybe not every day, but you're losing more than you're winning. Or you're winning small and losing big, and you can feel your account bleeding out one bad decision at a time. Good. That means you're still conscious. That means there's still something to save. The first thing you need to understand is that the market isn't trying to take your money. The market doesn't know you exist. The market is a river, and it flows where it flows, and it will drown you without malice and without mercy if you insist on swimming against it because you've decided it should flow the other way. You are not fighting the market. You are fighting yourself. Every loss you've taken that still burns, that was you. Every time you bought the top because you couldn't stand watching it go up without you, that was you. Every time you sold the bottom because you were scared, that was you. Every time you doubled down on a loser because you were sure you were right and the market was wrong, that was you. The market was just being the market. You were the one with expectations. Most traders, especially small investors, think the path to wealth is paved with trades. More trades, more opportunities, more chances to get it right. They think sitting still is losing. They think patience is for people who don't have the guts to pull the trigger. They're corpses. They just don't know it yet. The small investor who wins understands that his capital is finite. He can't average down forever. He can't hold through a 70% drawdown and shrug it off. He doesn't have the luxury of being wrong and waiting it out, so he doesn't get in until he's sure. And I don't mean the kind of sure where you've convinced yourself because you want it to be true. I mean the kind of sure where the setup is so obvious that not taking it would be the mistake. That kind of sure requires waiting. It requires watching 100 moves you don't take for every one you do. It requires the psychological strength to sit there day after day doing nothing, while your account stays flat and your brain screams that you're wasting time. You're not wasting time. You're surviving. The trader who can wait has already won half the battle. The other half is knowing what you're waiting for. And this is where most small investors fail. They think they're waiting for opportunity. They're not. They're waiting for certainty in a world that doesn't offer it. What you're waiting for is probability tilted so far in your direction that the risk becomes acceptable. You're waiting for the market to show its hand. You're waiting for the momentum to build, for the resistance to break, for the pattern to complete. You're not predicting. You're confirming. The small investor doesn't have room for hope. Hope is what you feel when you're in a position that's going against you and you're praying it comes back. Hope is expensive. Hope has destroyed more accounts than any crash ever did. What you need instead of hope is discipline. And discipline isn't sexy. Discipline is boring. Discipline is sitting there with your rules written down, following them exactly, even when your gut is telling you, this time is different. This time is never different. Your gut is a liar. Your gut wants action because action feels like control. But in trading, control is an illusion. The only thing you control is whether you take the trade, where you enter, where you exit, and how much you risk. Everything else is chaos dressed up as opportunity. The small investor who accepts this stops trying to control outcomes. He controls his process instead. He has rules for entry. He has rules for exit. He has rules for position sizing. And he follows them without negotiation, without exception. Without the internal debate that leads to doing what feels good instead of what's right. When you break your rules, you're not just making a mistake, you're destroying the only edge you have. Because your edge isn't your chart reading. Your edge isn't your technical analysis. Your edge is your ability to do what you said you would do when you said you would do it, regardless of how you feel. Most traders can't do that. Most traders are slaves to their emotions. They get excited and overtrade. They get scared and undertrade. They get greedy and hold too long. They get impatient and cut winners short. The market reads you like a book, and it takes your money because you're predictable. The way to stop being predictable is to stop reacting. You trade your plan, not your emotions. When you feel the strongest urge to act, that's when you pause. That's when you ask yourself if this is the plan talking or the fear talking or the greed talking. 9 times out of 10, it's not the plan. Pain is part of this game. You're going to take losses. You're going to miss moves. You're going to watch the trade you didn't take run without you. You're going to exit early and watch it keep going. You're going to hold through a pullback and get stopped out right before it reverses. All of that is going to happen. And if you can't handle it, you're finished. The small investor who survives learns to take pain without changing his approach. He takes the loss and moves on. He doesn't revenge trade. He doesn't double up to get it back. He doesn't abandon his system because it didn't work this time. He trusts the process over the outcome. That's the dividing line. The traders who make it are the ones who can lose and not break. The ones who blow up are the ones who can't accept that being right 70% of the time means being wrong. 30% of the time, they take one bad. Trade and spiral. They start questioning everything. They switch systems. They add indicators. They look for someone to blame. The market doesn't care about your feelings. Your broker doesn't care. The other traders don't care. No one is coming to save you. You save yourself by refusing to participate in your own destruction. You save yourself by recognizing when you're trading out of emotion instead of logic. You save yourself by having the courage to close the platform and walk away when you know you're not in the right headspace. The small investor's greatest advantage is that he can be selective. He doesn't have to deploy capital. He doesn't have quarterly targets. He doesn't have investors breathing down his neck. He can wait, but most small investors don't use that advantage. They trade like they're on a deadline. They trade like they have to make something happen today. They trade like the market is going to stop existing if they don't get in right now. The market will be here tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. The setups will come. The opportunities will present themselves, but only if you're still alive to take them. Preservation first, growth second. That's the order. You can't grow what you've already lost. Every dollar in your account is a soldier. You don't send soldiers into battle unless you have to. You don't sacrifice them for small gains. You wait for the fight you can win, and then you commit with conviction. That's how the small investor becomes the big investor, not by taking 1,000 trades, by taking 10 perfect trades, not by being in the market every day, by being in the market on the right days. You want the secret? It's that there is no secret. There's only the work you're not willing to do, the work of sitting still, the work of following rules when they're uncomfortable, the work of taking responsibility for every result. T, good or bad. The market gives you exactly what you deserve. If you're undisciplined, it takes your money. If you're emotional, it takes your money. If you're impatient, it takes your money. If you're disciplined, patient, and focused, it gives you a chance, not a guarantee. A chance. That's all you get. That's all anyone gets. The question is whether you're strong enough to take that chance when it comes, whether you're strong enough to wait for it, whether you're strong enough to say no 100 times so you can say yes once with conviction. Most of you aren't. Most of you will keep doing what you're doing, keep overtrading, keep chasing, keep breaking your rules, keep blaming the market, and you'll keep losing. But some of you will hear this and change. Some of you will realize that the war is internal, not external. Some of you will build the discipline that separates winners from losers. Those of you who do will look back at this moment as the turning point. Not because I gave you a system, because I told you the truth you didn't want to hear. The market doesn't owe you anything. Your success is your responsibility. Your losses are your responsibility. Your discipline is your responsibility. Stop waiting for someone to save you. Stop looking for the easy way. Stop trading like you're running out of time. Sit still, wait, watch, and when the moment comes, when the setup is undeniable, when probability is screaming in your favor, then you move. Listen to me carefully. The market didn't take your money. You gave it away. Every single loss that's eating at you right now, every position that went against you, every trade you wish you could take back, that wasn't the market's doing. That was yours. The market is neutral. It doesn't know your name. It doesn't care about your mortgage or your dreams or the fact that you need this to work. The market is simply informati, on moving through time, reflecting the collective decisions of millions of participants who are all trying to survive just like you. But your mind is at war with reality every single day. Your mind wants certainty in a probabilistic world. Your mind wants to be right more than it wants to make money. Your mind convinces you that this time is different, that you figured something out, that the rules don't apply to you right now because you feel strongly about this trade. Your mind lies to you constantly. It tells you to get in when you should wait. It tells you to hold when you should exit. It tells you to add to losers and cut winners short. It manufactures reasons to break your rules and then manufactures excuses when those decisions blow up in your face. The undisciplined mind is the enemy because it operates on emotion disguised as logic. You feel fear, and your mind creates a rational-sounding reason to exit early. You feel greed, and your mind creates a rational-sounding reason to add to a position that's already overextended. You feel regret about a missed move, and your mind creates a rational-sounding reason to chase. None of it is rational. All of it is emotional reaction dressed up in the language of strategy. The trader who wins is the one who recognizes this internal war and refuses to let emotion make decisions. He builds rules when he's calm and follows them when he's not. He understands that his feelings about a trade have nothing to do with whether the trade is right. You want to beat the market? Start by beating yourself. Discipline your mind. Question every urge. Write down your rules and follow them like your life depends on it. Because financially it does. The market will be whatever it's going to be. The only variable you control is you. Stop blaming external forces for internal failures. The moment you accept that your mind is the problem is the moment you can start building the solution. You think preservation is what scared money does. You think the real traders are the ones pushing chips in, taking risks, going for the big score. You're wrong. The real traders are the ones still standing when the smoke clears. Capital preservation isn't about being timid. It's about understanding mathematics. If you lose 50% of your account, you need 100% return just to get back to break even. That's not opinion. That's arithmetic. And arithmetic doesn't care about your confidence or your conviction or how certain you were about that trade. The small investor who treats every dollar like it's irreplaceable has a chance. The one who treats his account like it's expendable is already gone. He just hasn't admitted it yet. Preservation means you don't take trades just to be in the market. It means you don't risk money on marginal setups because you're bored or because you feel like you should be doing something. It means you sit there day after day, protecting what you have, waiting for the moment when the risk-reward is so skewed in your favor that not taking the trade would be the mistake. That's offense. Real offense. The kind that compounds. The kind that turns small accounts into big ones over time. Most traders think they're being aggressive when they're just being reckless. They confuse activity with progress. They take 10 trades when they should take one, and they wonder why they're bleeding money despite all their effort. Effort means nothing if it's misdirected. A man digging in the wrong spot doesn't get credit for swinging the shovel hard. The preserved dollar is the dollar that's available when opportunity knocks. The preserved dollar is the foundation you build on. The preserved dollar is the difference between having capital to compound and having nothing but regrets about. What could have been? You cannot compound losses. You can only compound wins. And you can't win if you're not in the game. Preservation keeps you in the game. Everything else is just gambling with different words. The trader who survives a drawdown lives to trade another day. The one who blows up chasing returns is finished. That's the difference between understanding this is a marathon and treating it like a sprint. Protect what you have with the same intensity you pursue what you want. That's not conservative. That's intelligent. That's professional. That's the difference between surviving and thriving. You think patience is soft. You think the trader sitting still is the one who's missing out. You've got it backwards. The trader with the discipline to wait is the most dangerous person in the market. Patience is aggression refined into efficiency. It's the understanding that the perfect setup is worth more than a dozen marginal ones. It's the recognition that your edge isn't in taking every opportunity, it's in taking the right opportunity. Most traders are always in the market because they can't stand not being in the market. They need the action. They need the stimulation. They need to feel like they're doing something. That need is what kills them. The patient trader understands that doing nothing is doing something. Waiting is work. Watching is preparation. Sitting still while every instinct screams at you to move is the hardest thing you'll ever do in this business, but it's also the most profitable. When you wait, you're letting the market come to you. You're refusing to force trades on your timeline. You're acknowledging that the market moves on its own schedule, and your job is to be ready when it presents opportunity, not to create opportunity where none exists. Impatient traders give money to patient traders every single day. The ones who chase, the ones overtrade. The ones who can't wait for confirmation. They're all transferring their capital to the traders who sat still until the setup was undeniable. Time is your ally if you let it be. Time allows bad trades to reveal themselves before you take them. Time allows good setups to develop fully. Time separates noise from signal. Time is the filter that keeps you out of trouble. But you have to be strong enough to use it. You have to be willing to watch 100 potential trades pass by because 90% of them don't meet your criteria. You have to be comfortable with flat periods where nothing happens and your account doesn't move. That comfort with inaction is what separates professionals from amateurs. The amateur needs constant validation. The professional knows that no trade is better than a bad trade, and most trades are bad trades. When you finally move, you move with conviction. You move with size. You move because probability is screaming in your favor and sitting still would be the mistake. That's aggressive. That's how you make real money. Patience isn't waiting for the sake of waiting. It's calculated aggression held in reserve until the moment demands it. It's potential energy waiting to become kinetic energy. It's the coiled spring before the release. Every time you feel strongly about a trade, that's a warning sign. Every time you're certain, that's when you should be most suspicious of yourself. Your emotions are not giving you information about the market. They're giving you information about you. Fear tells you the market is dangerous when really you're overexposed. Greed tells you the market is a gift when really you're rationalizing a bad entry. Regret tells you to chase when really you're trying to heal your ego instead of making a good trade. None of these feelings have anything to do with whether a trade is right or wrong. But they feel like tea. Hey, do. That's the trap. Emotion arrives with conviction, with urgency, with the weight of truth. It feels like insight when it's really just biochemistry. The trader who acts on feeling is the trader who gets destroyed. Not because feelings are always wrong, but because feelings are inconsistent. You can't build a system on emotion because emotion changes based on your last trade, your account balance, how much sleep you got, what you ate for breakfast. You need rules that exist outside of feeling, rules you follow when you're confident and when you're scared, rules that don't care about your mood or your opinion or how strongly you believe in this particular setup. When fear is telling you to exit early, your rules tell you to stay. When greed is telling you to add to the position, your rules tell you to take profit. When regret is telling you to chase, your rules tell you to wait for the next setup. The emotional trader is reactive. Something happens, he feels something about it, and he acts on that feeling. That's not trading. That's just being blown around by your own internal weather patterns. The disciplined trader is proactive. He decides in advance what he'll do in every scenario, and then he executes that decision regardless of how he feels when the moment comes. His feelings are noted, and then ignored. They're data about his psychological state, not directives about what action to take. This is brutally hard. Everything in you wants to trust your gut. Your gut has kept you alive in other areas of life. But the market isn't a predator you can sense approaching. It's chaos, and your gut didn't evolve to navigate chaos. It evolved to keep you safe from tigers, not to tell you when to buy or sell. The trader who wins is the one who has separated feeling from action. He feels everything, the fear, the greed, the excitement, the regret, and then he does what his stem tells him to do anyway. Your emotions are real. Your emotions matter. But your emotions are not trading intelligence. They're liabilities to be managed, not insights to be followed. You think you have an edge because you understand technical analysis. You think you have an edge because you've read the books and watched the charts and developed a system. You don't. Not yet. Because knowledge without discipline is just potential that never gets realized. Your edge is not what you know. Your edge is what you do with what you know. And what you do is determined entirely by whether you